Hilaria Link. She's got a new book out. Okay. And she really wants us to get to know her better. It's called Manual Not Included. It came out this past Tuesday. The cover shows Alec Baldwin with tape over his mouth in a box surrounded by the kids. His daughter is holding the roll of tape. So she talks about, among other things, the beginning of their relationship. Let's take a listen to that soundbite because she also did the audiobook.
For the first 6 weeks that we dated, Alec just wanted to talk. He would shake my hand hello and goodbye. Sometimes these early conversations were intense. It wasn't purely about physical attraction. It was true respect. No one had ever wanted to get to know me in quite that way before. What's not funny is the cruelty from the tabloid media and online trolls who tried to diminish me, labeling me as a gold-digging younger woman, someone who doesn't deserve to be with him. I have given a lot of thought to why people want to label me as such. Here's my theory. Please bear with me. If you're a successful gold digger, you have one kid. Spend a few years with your husband, then get out of the marriage and take all of his money. We have seen it modeled. I can tell you that 7 kids shouldn't be in the gold digging curriculum, and I would probably receive like a solid D- for this choice. Kids are expensive and a lot of hard work. Gold diggers want maximum money and minimal responsibility.
Do you accept that definition?
I mean, I'm over here taking notes. Wait, how do I be a gold digger? Hold on. I don't think any of the Baldwin brothers are probably worth dating these days. First off, Manual Not Included, terrible name for a book. I don't know if that's what came with her vibrator and her nightstand. Manual Not Included, but I don't know why she needed that. Also, she is kind of a gold digger. I mean, she's also insane and has multiple personalities. So for her to say she's not a gold digger, I mean, maybe you would have just met Alec Baldwin and fallen in love if he wasn't famous and wealthy at the time. But I'm sure that was part of the calculus. And I would respect these women a whole lot more if she would just admit it, say, you know what? It was Alec Baldwin. I was trying to be this yoga, Pilates influencer. I also love, and people go watch on YouTube if you're listening so you can see what we're talking about. He's smothered on the cover of the book. I think his mouth is taped and he's taped. This is really, I think if they go to divorce court, he has so much lined up to just show that she's a psycho woman. Why is he taped and trapped in like bondage on the cover of the book with all these kids? And it's because she's trapped him in this apartment with 1 million kids, dogs, nannies, and a camera crew, and she hates him. So maybe this is his penance for shooting that woman on the set of that movie. God is like punishing him, but he looks trapped.
These are Link's opinions, but they're well-founded in my opinion. I think
all
you're right about all of that.
I'm saying all of this allegedly. Yes,
it's allegedly. It's your opinion based on the way she's behaved,
right.
and I share your opinion. This is a very strange woman. And on the gold digging front, I think she's wrong. First of all, because yes, if she left after 1 kid, he'd have to pay her child support. That wouldn't necessarily keep her in the same style that she's become accustomed to as his full-time wife and the mother of 7 kids. And secondly, I actually don't know that it was all money-driven. I'm pretty sure it was fame-driven. Fame is a different form of gold. And I think she was extremely attracted to that. And I think that's ongoing. You can't, as soon as you divorce Alec, the tabloids will follow you around for a year just to see if you say anything about Alec, but they have no actual independent interest in Hilaria Baldwin. None. And she knows that. She's only interesting because she's his wife. And let's face it, he's one of the biggest stars in America. He is. By the way, my favorite Baldwin is now Billy Baldwin, still like Stephen, but it's Billy who came on the show last week on National Fentanyl Day. And unlike a lot of these other Hollywood stars, didn't turn up his nose at my audience, even though it has many conservatives, just because they're conservatives. Like so many assholes who are trying to like promote some health initiative will skip conservative media. Like they want conservatives to die. They don't care if their kids get sick. It's messed up. So hats off to Billy Baldwin for being here. Okay, so back to Hilaria. So I think she's a fame digger. It's a different kind of gold. That's my own personal belief on her. The best part of all this is she gets to the Spanish accent, the fake Spanish. She grew up in a Tony, Boston suburb. Her name is Hillary. It's not Hilaria, as she wants us to believe. It's Hillary. And she's as white as they come. She's not Spanish. And she was mocked mercilessly a few years ago during COVID for this clip that was on the Today Show where she pretended to forget how to say in English the word cucumber. She's American. She did not grow up in Spain. She's bilingual, but her native tongue is English. Remember this?
We have very few ingredients. We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say it? Cucumber? Cucumbers.
How do you say in English? How do you say in English? Okay, so now she's attempting to explain this problem as follows.
And then suddenly people were poking at me for how I sounded and how I code switched. It all got out of control. There was a coordinated mob after me. Another factor that made me very uncomfortable at the time is that I have ADHD and dyslexia, and these greatly impact my speech, my reading, my listening, my focus, my memory, and my self-confidence. I have a brain that is 1 part English, 1 part Spanish, 7 dollops of mom brain, a heavy pour of distraction when I get stuck or go off on tangents and forget what I'm saying while I'm saying it. At this point, I had not discussed any of this publicly. I just existed in a land where sometimes I spoke one language and sometimes I spoke another, and sometimes I mixed them and got mixed up, and I never talked about my processing differences. I just tried to be normal. Growing up being neurodivergent, I had to work harder in school than many of the people around me. I took speech therapy to enunciate better. The more I got treatment for the ADHD that I was trying to ignore, the better I got at separating the 2 languages and not getting distracted. I tried to improve myself in the ways the internet trolls had told me I was broken. And then I got to the point where I realized, this is not helping me. I am mixed up, but I am not bad or broken. And then Hilaria returned.
Oh my God. She's neurodivergent. It's her ADHD that made her not remember how to say cucumber in English, Link. You buying it?
Well, in college, my advisor said I needed a minor. So I thought, what's the easiest thing I can do? So I minored in psychology. So in none of my courses, not in the DSM manual or anything, none of my professors taught me that a side effect of ADHD and dyslexia is actually having fake accents and fake personalities. That was not ever in any of my curriculum. So Hilaria, I don't know what is going on with her. She's kooky. They're just trying to make money because I think they're probably broke, right? She's doing a book. She's doing a reality show. And I know I just keep coming back to the cover of the book, you guys. You have to go Google it. You've never seen a man more emasculated than he is on the cover of this book right now. I mean, his mouth is taped. He's wrapped up. She looks like she is totally in control running that household. And for her to say she's not a gold digger because she had, 10,000 kids instead of 1, maybe she could have Ashley St. Clair over for a crash course, because Ashley St. Clair certainly did not learn that lesson. She should have sat there, shut her mouth, and pumped out those Tesla babies in that apartment, but she threw it all away for an interview and a photo shoot with John Levine at the New York Post. So I think Ashley St. Clair should skedaddle on over to Hilaria's apartment and get some notes from her.
Here's the other thing she says in the same part of the book where she's talking about she's neurodivergent, and that's why she forgets her English word for cucumber. I mean, first of all, just for not for nothing, but it's such an obvious lie, because there are multiple examples of Hilaria talking in a fake Spanish accent. There, she was in a fake Spanish accent and pretending to forget her English. But we've run these clips ad nauseum on the show of her, let me tell you something. When this baby needs its mama, she's I think she's from Weston, Massachusetts. She's from if it's not Weston, it's one identical, which is literally one of the nicest suburbs in the world. She went to a private girls' school. The parents have tons of money. She is as white as you or I are, and she was Hillary. Now I'm back to Hilaria. No, you are not Hilaria. That too is an affectation. So she writes in this passage, okay, growing up being neurodivergent, you heard some of this there. I had to work harder in school than many of the people around me. Now I know that it's ridiculous that anyone would feel outraged or amused because someone forgot a word. She says, but back then, and I think she's referencing the 2020 controversy over cucumber, I started to really unravel. Yeah, she was. I was confused. I felt lost. I missed my family. I couldn't eat. I got very thin. I started to question my sanity. Then she says, I wanted to be dead. And I got worse and worse and worse. I took speech therapy to enunciate better. The more I got treatment for the ADHD that I was trying to ignore, the better I got at separating the 2 languages and not getting as distracted. I tried to improve myself in all the ways, and that's when Hilaria returned. You heard the end of this, but like, she appears to be suggesting that she wanted to kill herself over the cucumber controversy, over the fact that she wanted to enunciate better. That's very strange because, as I say, there is a string of tape of her continuing to pretend she's Spanish. And there's a tape of Alec Baldwin on one of the late night shows saying, my wife, she's from Spain. And then he imitates her Spanish accent. You're like, these two have been lying about this weird fake origin story for years.
I mean, maybe she just forgot the word cucumber because she's not all that bright and all that smart, you know, or maybe she's had 1,000 kids. She bumped her head on the headboard too many times and she's concussed. I don't know why she forgot the word cucumber, but nonetheless, Hilaria Baldwin, she's just such a spiritual, smart woman. Maybe she can broker the Maha peace deal in this Maha civil war right now. She's just such mother of the earth. But no, I have no respect for Hilaria Baldwin. I think she's crazy. It's really sad too, because Alec Baldwin was this like handsome, masculine, like one of the last like masculine give 0 Fs kind of guys, like punching paparazzi. I watched It's Complicated on a plane a few weeks ago. Alec Baldwin is so my type, but when you see him like this, emasculated and degraded, it's a no. It's a no.
I know. I agree. He could have a comeback. You know, he needs to lose 30 pounds and shave.
If he got his eyes done and shaved, come back. Come back.
Yeah, seriously. And like, and a divorce, obviously.
Yes.
Here, she speaks to what happened with the death of Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer who Alec killed on set of the Rust movie in a mistake, where he says he didn't fire the gun, but the experts all say that gun wouldn't have fired if he hadn't pulled the trigger. But he wasn't trying to kill her. There's no dispute.
No.
It was a terrible tragedy and accident on the set. In any event, she died. And listen to this weird take on the aftermath of that. Listen, see if it jumps out at you as it did to us. SOT 25.
Have you ever ignored a call coming in from your husband? I did on October 21st, 2021. Actually, it was 2 calls. At that time, Mary Lou was my youngest and I was taking photos of her. The phone rang and I ignored it. I'm doing something right now, I thought. Then Alec called again, which he often would do when he had a break from filming. We had already spoken multiple times that day, and I was planning to send him the pictures right after and make a joke about how he was interrupting our photo session. He then texted me to call him right away, and all of a sudden, my heart and my stomach smashed together. Something must have happened. The realization that he wasn't ever going to be the same started to sink in. For the immediate future, from now on, I would need to take on the role of his protector. I could have left Alec. I could have taken our kids with me and abandoned him, but I didn't. I stood by him because it was the right thing to do. I saw and know the truth.
What?
At his lowest moment, she's going, I could have taken the kids and abandoned him. Well, why is that step one that you're jumping to? That doesn't even make sense. And I know that the publisher is like, part of the deal, you have to write about the Helena Hutchins situation. How could they not? But at the same time, can this woman's family have some peace? We understand in no world did Alec Baldwin mean to shoot this woman, right? This is a New York guy, probably doesn't know his way around guns all that well. So he didn't mean to shoot her, but can her family just have some peace? Do you have to now do this for press to sell the book, Hilaria?
Yeah, that's the thing. Who says, yes, he came under, all this public scrutiny. It was a media firestorm. I could have left him. I could have taken the children and walked. What? As if that's like one of the top options. Like when your spouse is in trouble, you're like, I can just peace out. Fuck him. I don't know, really, this is his problem, not mine. Really, who even thinks like that? Like this is like Doug writing a book about our life together. And then he gets to the chapter about NBC when I was all over the papers and saying terrible things about me. And like him being like, I could have left her right then. I could have taken our kids and walked. Who? What? Wait a minute, honey.
Well,
huh?
This tells me that she probably met with lawyers and crisis management people at the time and was probably being advised from a PR standpoint, you could leave, do your own thing, you go solo, get a People magazine cover, you've left him behind, that's all drama. It makes me think there are probably a council of advisors in her ear giving her that as an option. The fact that she's even thinking about it, because I've been in the same relationship now for 3 years, I couldn't imagine if he's at his lowest or I'm at my lowest saying, peace out. I'm leaving. We don't have kids, but I'm leaving and moving the hell out of here. That would never happen. That's just so bizarre.
No.
If you're actually in a genuine relationship, not a fame relationship, that's not even a thought. It's very weird.
Correct. And it goes back to my original theory, because if she's like a fame digger, it's crossed over to infamy for Alec Baldwin. So I might be out. Like the one thing I was in it for has waned and actually gone a different direction, which doesn't work for me. So I, under the implicit terms of our relationship, which is like I'm young and vibrant and probably a nice partner in certain ways. And you are supposed to be the one who is famous and gets us a lot of positive attention. And you've broken your end of the bargain, which is why I can leave. Our contract's been violated. This is a breach by you, which releases me from all further obligations. That's really what I hear her saying there. This July, there is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset, as BRICS nations push forward with their plans. Some worry global demand for U.S. dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition won't happen overnight, the Rio Reset could mark a pivotal moment. So learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting MK to the number 989898. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.